Hi, this is Steve. This is going to be lesson number 6 on the lathe turning, spindle turning specifically for the Shopsmith Mark 7, 4, and 520 self-study course. So as I mentioned in the instructions for this assignment, you're not going to be doing anything other than a scraping action when we do the lathe turning on the Shopsmith for beginners. The shearing action, which is a very nice cut, that takes a little bit more skill to learn and a little more time to learn. So we're going to do just scraping actions on the spindle turning. So first of all, we're going to set up to spindle turn, and first we want to make sure that everything is lined correctly to do that. So we've taken our tailstock and we've mounted that here in the end, in the right end here, and we want to have the quadrant here facing this way. And we're going to tighten that up, and we're going to put in our cup center. Which is right here, and that will go right there. And now we're going to put the drive center over on the arbor, and that's going to go right there. We're going to tighten that down, making sure that that Allen screw is on the flat. Now, what we want to have happen is we want these two to be exactly in line with each other. Now, if we try to do this, move that all the way that way, and the motor all the way to the right, and advance our quill as far as we can, it will not reach. So rather than do that, we're going to put in the drill chuck with the brad point bit on it so that we can get those lined up. So we'll take this back off. And we will slide this back a little bit here and put the drill chuck on. And I will advance this quill until these just about touch. So there's that right there. Okay, let's lock that. Right here. Okay. Now, if we look straight down over the top, I can see that that is off just a hair. And if I look down on the side here, I can see this mine is perfectly aligned up and down. So I want to move this point that way a little bit so they'll be lined up. So let's loosen up. I'm going to loosen this right here. I've got that is centered there. Okay, now. I turn this till it's just lined up. Right there, that's perfectly lined up right there. Okay? Alright, so that is lined up now. Alright, so we've got those lined. And now we can retract our quill and take our chuck off, drill chuck off. Now we've got that all lined up. now put our drive center back on. So, if we were ready to mount our stock, we would mount it now, but we're going to mark our stock. So I've already marked this one, as you can see in the written instructions. I've already done my indentation here for the cup center and for my drive center, but I'm going to do it for you so you can see how that's done. Now I have a rawhide hammer here. The nice thing on the rawhide is you can hit this as hard as you want and you're not going to damage anything. So we're going to take our cup center here, and first we have to find the center of our stock. So take our straight edge here, and if you come down here and look over from the top here, you can see what I'm doing. And then we'll do the other end, same thing. Okay, so that's done. And now first we're going to do our cup center end, and I'm going to, before I do that though, I like to use a punch. Now I know this wasn't in your written instructions, but this is just a little hint. The way these punches work, you get exactly where you want to have it, where it was right those crosshairs. And you just push down. And there's a spring on there that will put that hole in there, rather than have to take a hammer and a awl and pound on it. So this is a nice little hint I was showing you here in the video. Okay, so now we're going to take and drive our cup center in, and I'm going to do that over here on my workbench. So I got some support. If you'll just follow me over here to the workbench. Here's my cup center. Okay, so that's what we want. We want that to get a good indentation all the way around on the cup. And now we're going to do the opposite end with our drive center. And you can just stay there at the workbench. I'll be right back. Alright, so here's our cup center. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and leave that in there for now because we're going to go ahead and mount this on the spindle now. Okay, so that's going to go on there. Pull our motor over this way. Got about that much there. Tighten up the motor. Advance the quill. Lining that right up with that center hole there. There we go. Okay. Now, that's about where I'm going to want to have it. Now, I'm not going to tighten it yet. I'm going to show you one other hint here. And this is not in the written instructions easier, but on your cup center, you put a little bit of beeswax right on the end here. That's what this is. That'll keep it from burning or squealing. Now, you can still turn just fine without the beeswax, but if you do a lot of turning, you'll notice the difference over time. Okay, so there we are. Now I'm going to pull this till this flexes just a little bit. If you keep an eye on this, watch this moving. See it flexing there? Okay, I want to flex just slightly. Okay, and there we are. So that is set, and this will turn just fine now. Now we're going to mount our tool rest. That goes here with the teeth going this way. And we're just going to lower that right down. Loosen both of these knobs here. We want to bring this around. I want to have this so that it has, I want this to be in line with these two corners here, is where I want. So I'm going to raise this up. That's about, there it is, that's about the height I need right there. And now we're going to position this. I want this to be about 1/8 inch away from this edge here. If you look down on that, you can see that that's about what that is. Now, I can see right now that I can't move this tool rest any more that way, and I want to, because I want to have kind of this centered on this position. So in order to do that, I'm going to loosen the motor lock, loosen the quill lock, and I'm going to push on that quill so it moves the motor that way a little bit more, so that now I can slide that tool rest back a little bit more. And that's a little bit better right there. Okay, I like that a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to leave that right there. We've got our quill locked right there. We've got our motor locked right there. Okay, and we've got our height here locked real good. I've got that parallel with that edge right there. So I'm going to tighten this knob real tight. I don't want any motion on that. And then I'm going to tighten this one right here real tight. Now, you know, you can pull these back and do it more if you need to. There. Now that's moving on me, so I can see this one here is not tight enough. Well, let's see what's going on here. Why is that moving on me? I think I know what it is. I think my height lock's got to be a little tighter. One thing interesting about this is the height lock not only keeps it from going up and down, it also keeps the post down here from twisting. So you've got to have this lock here for the height tight. You got to have it pretty tight. So let's go back up here and do this one again. Okay, there we are. That's tight. Okay, that won't move and that won't move. That's exactly what I want right there. Okay, so now I want to turn, make sure that this is going to clear this completely, and it is. So there we are. So now we're set up to do our lathe spindle turning operation. And the only other thing we need is either a full face shield like this, or your regular eye protection. And of course, we're going to use a 1-inch gouge here, or a roughing gouge. Either a roughing gouge or a spindle gouge, either one is what we're going to use. So now you're all set up to start doing your spindle turning. And that's the end of your first assignment. See you on the next assignment.